After a terrible loss to Damir Dzumhur in Rotterdam, the top seed Stefanos Tsitsipas is through to his second semi-final of the season following a 6-4, 6-3 win over a lucky loser Sergiy Stakhovsky in 68 minutes. The Australian Open semi-finalist dropped 12 points in 10 service games, keeping everything under control behind the initial shot and never facing a break point, mounting the pressure on Stakhovsky, who couldn't deal with it. The Ukrainian had to play against 6 breakpoints and he managed to fend off 4 of those, suffering 1 break in each set to send Stefanos into the last 4. It's a great start for both players, finding the rhythm in service games and keeping returners away from the opportunities until Game 10 when Tsitsipas converted the second set point with a backhand cross-court winner for a 6-4 after 33 minutes. Carried by this momentum, the Greek stored another break in the bank at 1-0 in the second set, and that was all he needed to bring the encounter home with a forehand winner in Game 9, staying on the course for the second ATP title. The struggling Belgian David Goffin lost the previous 3 matches before Marseille, but he has found an excellent form in France, beating a former champion Gilles Simon 6-2, 6-4 in an hour and 28 minutes for the first semi-final since Cincinnati last year. This was their 5th match and the 3rd victory for the Belgian, who delivered good numbers behind the initial shot, dropping 14 points in 9 service games and never facing a break point. Simon was far from that pace, giving away almost half of the points in his games and getting broken 3 times from 10 chances he offered to David. The Frenchman had to play against 3 break points already in the first game of the match, which is never a good sign, saving those before Goffin found the way to break him in the 5th game with a forced error. David grabbed another break in Game 7 with a forehand winner, closing the set with a volley winner a few minutes later for a 6-2. Gilles stayed in touch in set number 2 after fending off 2 break points, reaching 4-4 before playing a loose service game that sent David in front and allowed him to wrap up the win with an ace in Game 10 and advance into the last 4. The 31-year-old Mikhail Kukushkin will achieve a career-high ranking on Monday after a commanding 6-4, 6-1 victory over Andrei Rublev in 65 minutes for the first semi-final since Vienna last year. Serving at 75%, Mikhail won 10 out of 14 points behind the second serve, losing serve once and hoping for chances on the return that would give him the edge on the court. They certainly came after just 54% of the first serve that Andrei landed in, facing 7 break points and suffering 4 breaks to propel Kukushkin into the semis. Mikhail delivered the first break in the 4th game when Rublev failed to control a deep return, losing the advantage while serving for the opener at 5-3. Andrei drew nothing from this, though, losing serve at love in the 10th game to hand the opener to his rival, once again unable to endure backhand exchanges. The more experienced player raced into a 5-0 lead in set number 2, forcing an error from Rublev with a great forehand in Game 2 and once again at 3-0 with a backhand return winner that stayed out of the Russian's reach. Kukushkin needed 4 match points in Game 7 to secure the victory and remain on the title course. The 20-year-old Hugo Humbert needed a wild card to enter the main draw and he used it with both hands, toppling a qualifier Matthias Bachinger 6-3, 6-3 in an hour and 19 minutes for the 4th ATP win of the season. A left-handed Frenchman did just about everything right on the court for his first ATP semi-final, dropping just 9 points on serve and creating 11 break chances, converting 3 for a one-sided win and to join his co-equal Tsitsipas in the last 4. Hugo was in the zone right from the opening point, finding a perfect balance between dangerous serves and taming the ground strokes from the baseline, experiencing no troubles on serve and waiting for a chance on the return patiently. Eventually, it developed in Game 8 when Matthias hit a double fault to gift the service games to the youngster, who placed 3 winners in the following game for a 6-3. The German had to give the serve away at the beginning of the second set as well, wasting 4 more opportunities in the next 2 return games but staying firmly ahead with rock-solid serving, crossing the finish line with another break in Game 9 after a smash winner to move 2 wins away from the maiden ATP title.